there, my name's Beth, and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up and February TBR. I know that it just feels like a couple of days ago I posted my January TBR, or the beginning of the year video, but it's hard to believe that it's already been a month of 2015. So I'm going to talk to you about the 2 books I read this month, or last month, and a couple of the books that I currently plan to read this month in February. So let's get started. So I did only read 2 books in January, but I have been going through such a reading slump lately, and 2 books is better than I read in November and December, where I read no books. So, with that, I last year watched a video by Ariel Bissett, and her beginning of the year first book, she said, is always a reread or a book that she's so excited about. And I figured that I would kind of do something similar, which I actually read this book, the first book I read last year as well, and that is Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. This book, again, I rated 5 out of 5 stars. It took me about 2 weeks to get through it, just because I was in a reading slump. It's such a tiny book. It's only about 250 pages. Yeah. And but it's so good still. I love the story. The characters are so cute. The story premise is so cute as well. And it's such a good, sweet contemporary story, and it's perfect for winter because this book does take place around Christmas. Then the second book I read this month was The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This is a new release of January, and I read The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black last year, and I absolutely loved it, so I figured I'd pick up something else by Holly Black. And again, I absolutely love this book. I love Holly Black's writing style, her imagery, and just the words she uses. They are so beautiful, and it's just makes this story so enjoyable. This book, again, took me about 2 weeks to read. It's only about 350 pages or so. But still, in such a reading slump, these 2 books took me 26 days combined to read. That's terrible. My reading goal is currently still at 60 books on Goodreads, but I am so far behind that. I might knock it down to 50, but I really don't want to, because I'm trying to push myself to just read. Not push myself, because I do want to have reading just as an enjoyable thing, but I am really going to try to read the 60 books and cut my TBR down a little bit at least. So I ended up the 27th, the second I got this book, I was so actually the end of the 26th, I ended up picking up The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I'm still only about 70 pages into it. And I read about 70 pages on the 26th through the middle of the 27th. However, what got me out of my reading slump, which is fantastic, is this beautiful book here, which I got in the mail, and that is Fairest by Marissa Meyer. This is the prequel book to the Lunar Chronicles, the Evil Queen's story, and I didn't finish it in January. That's why I'm not counting it as my wrap-up, because I didn't actually end up finishing it. But I finished it this morning, so I got this in February. So this was the first book in my February TBR, which I have already completed. So, and then I finished that, and my next goal is to finish The Bone Season this month, which, this is a pretty chunky book, not too bad, but I think I can finish this in a couple of, let's be real, in about a week. And the third book I have planned for my TBR, which I'm actually also currently reading, is Alienated by Melissa Landers, because the sequel to this book comes out tomorrow, February 3rd, and I've pre-ordered it, so I really want to read this at least this month, and then if I really like this, I might jump directly into Invaded, the sequel, or I might just wait for that for another month. So, yeah, those are the three books one book I've already read this month, and the three books in my TBR currently, but there's totally more like new releases coming out, which I'm super excited about. That's why I'm keeping it really short for my TBR. And the two books that I read in January. So yeah, I might do a full review on this book just because it was so enjoyable and incredible. But it's also been like a week since I've read it, so I might not. But on like every Goodreads page for this book, there are tons of reviews, and there's probably tons of YouTube videos reviewing this book out there. So yeah. But until next time, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye!